Hello, everyone. So, technically, this is a live reading. Just waiting for the person to come in. Not really a live reading per se, but um, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Hello. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, can you hear me? I don't know. Okay. Well, as long as you can hear me. Um. Oh, sorry. That's okay. The reason I can't hear you is because it's connected. Hold on. Let me disconnect that one. Okay. Here we go. You hear me? Hello. Okay, there you go. Awesome. Okay. So they're in. I'm doing the live thing, so they can't see you anyways, but as long as they can hear you, that's fine. I know you said it's okay, but I thought, let's do it this way, simplify things, just go for it. Okay. Yeah. But you're okay with me showing the chart just in case, so I have something to reference as well? Okay. Plus it's yours too, so all right. Let's see what we get. Window. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, I like that. You have both your moon and your sun in Taurus. Okay, that's cool. You're double Earth. Okay. And you have, huh? Yeah. And you have okay, and you have the same very similar ascendant as I do. I have it also in Cancer. But yeah, so the moon rules the whole chart. Uh, it usually means that people like us grow through life going through the fluctuations of emotions, and that's the overall theme. But it's tied to the body, so it often has a lot to do with what do you call this? Vitality, but kind of how do they put this in medical astrology? It is the rhythm of vitality. It's a third. Okay, hold on. What is this one here? Okay, what we're sensitive to, basically. Like their sensitivities, kind of. So yours is in Cancer. So yours is in Taurus. So it has that feel of like metabolism is quite. Would you say metabolism kind of slow in general? Okay, that's just to be general. Okay, we're not here for medical astrology. Don't worry, it's just your path. So I was just looking at it. I was like, okay, that was cool. I like to be surprised. So when I look at a person's chart, I don't actually read it. I go like, nope. Most astrologers will. They kind of prepare and they kind of set things out. But I'm like, no, I like to be surprised because the reason I do the asteroid is because they're all pre-download. I've already done the work. Now it's just kind of when I do the reading, it refines the work. It just goes. It's like dissecting it. Yeah. So, anyways, okay, cool. Um, you have a lot of Taurus placements. Oh, that's cool. Okay, and you also have that energy as a past life energy or past parallel lives energy. It's you a lot of it is tied to money. A lot of it is tied to your income, or the people that you worked with. Seeing here, what is that one? Yeah, it's tied to. Oh, are you in astrology? I'm. Have you ever thought about that? Really? Oh, okay. Because I'm seeing here you have the asteroid Urania conjunct your South Node. It's literally in perfect conjunction. That to me, and your Mercury is there too, I believe. Yeah, you have several asteroid conjunct that, but the closest one to the South Node, which is signifies where we've been or where we've been linearly speaking. Um, but that's that. You were also kind of let me put that. I think it's oh, forgot to close this app here. Um, let me check my cheat sheet here. Okay. Okay. Something about something about the stars at least. It's not necessarily astrology, but maybe astronomy as well. Mapping things. You're able to map things. There's a connection to that. But that's the other thing. You do have it squared to Chiron, and to me that signifies the issues with technology or the technicalities of life. Things that you get into, they're quite technical or very like left brainy. Um, and also generally speaking, like with when it comes to the technicalities of how you grow, transform, that could also mean taxes. Um, there's a lot of wounding with Aquarius, so it's usually tied to freedom, your individuality, your intelligence. You're kind of like out there. There's a lot of challenges with that. It just means that you have to learn how to integrate that so-called the missing part and say and find a gift in that and say, sure, maybe I didn't come in this life to know the technicalities of things, even though I like them. I mean, did you okay, your learning style is in this life is Virgo. It's similar to mine. So you like to work things hands-on, but you like the technical things as well. It's kind of like what you like to do. Even though part of the science stuff that you've gone through, especially science and math, were quite challenging for you, right? So it comes from a past. It comes from a past too. But I feel like it says here Nessus is conjunct to your South Node. So it's showing me um, there's some sort of control that was imposed on you in past lives. You were there's abuse there, destructive behavior, either yours or somebody else's. There was trauma behind tied to that, especially with how people related with you, like who your bosses, people who gave you your community groups, those kind of who gave you the love that they're supposed to give you. Um, and also friendships, community groups, like un, not emotional relationships, but there was still some sort of like, does that make sense? Well, that's what I'm seeing here. It's South Node, so usually that means it's tied to either earlier life or parallel past lives. I'm doing parallel because that's not really what past lives are. Past and future don't exist, only the present. They're all parallel happening right now, but we can always access them, right? Have you heard of this? Bashar talks about this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there you go, right there. Sometimes when you've had a lot of these challenges growing up. Sometimes there are things that when people get, even when I get technical right now, I'm sorry if it hurts, but um, it's just I I'll try to make sure that it's not too jargony. I try. So pardon, just have to bear with me. I appreciate it. So thank you. Um, yeah, but I do see that there's something about that too. Um, Specifically also probably tied to sexuality or power. There's a lot of shadow stuff. It's karma from the past. Maybe people were jealous of you, maybe because you did actually have all these abilities, and you probably suppressed them in this life. Did you suppress a lot of abilities in this life? Do you feel? Maybe okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I don't know. I'm still gonna go with it. Okay. So there's some sort of stuff related to trauma. It's a lot of like integration that needs to happen as well. Um, maybe certain sort of issues with trusting relationships, especially the public in general. Again, our groups, our friends, colleagues, coworkers, bosses, aspirations also included here. And there's some sort of like a lot of challenges that came with that. However, you grow through it internally. You learn of the little things and you kind of just grow through it and you actually work at the little things that kind of you're quietly ambitious when it comes to learning. You're one of those people that's very quiet about it. Um, and there are limitations to how you have fun with it though, in terms of what you and you like to look at things that are very different. So that's something you had to learn from past lives where you bring the gifts of those events, of those incidences, those experiences, this kind of stuff, right? You were probably hiding in the past. There was probably shame there. There's a lot of guards, or you're keeping an eye out here. Whereas it's keeping an eye on and keeping an eye out for. Um, again, it could be other the opposite. It could be the opposite as well, where people were kind of controlling you, manipulating you, very schemy, calculative, diabolical, deviousness kind of stuff. Um, maybe conspiracy theories or kind of stuff. So you had to learn how to deal with that and create some sort of stratagem. You have to be tactical in this life. You were called to be tactical. Am I reading your chart right? Because I'm seeing so 10:14 a.m. right? April 29, 1957. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure. Birmingham. Okay. Alabama. Okay. I thought it was like okay. Uh, let's see. So you have all these things that from the past that you can carry on into this life, where either you'd had to learn from control, the meaning of control, and what that meant for you. Right. So, are you drawn to puppets? Do you like puppets? Does that come naturally to you? Hmm. Ventriloquism, dummies. Okay. Okay. So that's something to do with that. Okay. Um. Yeah. So let's go into Urania here. You have this inner understanding of, I would call it cosmic wisdom, expansive memory and knowledge, nature and music, intuition. It's in you, it's there. It's one of your gifts. Science is still one of your gifts, poetry, global guidance or inspiration, um, foretelling the future, or specifically through signs and symbols. So, divination, premonitional abilities, visions, fortune telling, of course. Um, what is this one here? Do you use dowsing rods? Oh, okay. So it says here rods. Okay. Um, do you like looking at globes for some reason? Compasses? Do you enjoy that? Mm. Okay. So that's where the So that's where the Chiron comes in here. A lot of it feels like a limitation. It feels like so. Yeah, I can understand that. That's totally fine. Yeah, but you would like to get into those things. It's in you. You do have it, but there's doubt in it because of what happened in the past. It's almost like you were suppressed so much from that kind of power that you kind of just forgot it. Yeah, yeah. That's why you like the stars. You like astronomy. You like planets, show movies and TV shows about. Exactly. See, the interest is there, but it feels. I'm seeing this sort of like I'm getting this image of this candle. It's like this. It's kind of it's surrounded and it's kind of like it's not allowed to shine. Is what I'm that's the image I'm getting right now. So, um, yeah, but it is there. That includes inspired science and art and music. Okay, guiding in stars, so being a guide as well. Um, things related to cosmic things. Navigation, like nautical, like sailors, exploration. Um, right. So let me see if there's anything here. Let's change. I feel like your nadir, which is your core beliefs, have now shifted into Sagittarius. Do you feel a pull a little bit, even just the tiniest bit, to move to a different location? Like your house should be foreign, or do you feel like you work out more? You're in your home environment. Do you feel like you need to be more active? Yeah. Okay. So I can see that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I'm just adding in. I'm also adding things that might help you right now. I feel like there's a lot of things there. Um. So yeah, you can use a lot of these potential gifts and really hone them. I feel like because maybe you kind of questioned yourself quite a bit. You have your Uranus is in the first house in this life, so that means you have kind of like, physically speaking, you have kind of like these undiagnosable issues concerning like the nervous system, digestion, that kind of stuff, but also your nervous system, um, in detox. Oh, it's tied to. I feel like it's also tied to detox and your heart. There's something about the heart, lower back, that part of the chest area. What that means, not just physically but also symbolically, is that it's almost like you embody some sort of the potential to be beyond what you feel you are, because your core beliefs in your when your birth chart shows it's in Libra, just like mine. What happens with Libra Nadir, what it represents in a person is we're, we tend to be quite more of the reactionary rather than the proactionary individual. You get what I'm saying? Like we're just kind of like, yeah. And people might see you as this person who's like, oh, she has initiative. She can do this. She's a leader. But you're like, why do you expect me to take charge? What? So the goal there is to integrate the two energies and be like, initiate when you want to, when it resonates with your beliefs, even if it's conditioned beliefs from family upbringing. You want to integrate that into, when do I want to initiate something that inspires me, right? And because in this life, you're here to learn more about power, really about power, what true power is. Your North Node is in Scorpio. So to me, and especially when it comes to like having fun and enjoying life, it's tied to your fifth house. It's tied to really enjoying yourself. There's pride tied to this, by the way. So, but at the same time, it's not strong. For you, it's more like, it's almost like there might be humility where it's kind of misplaced, or the opposite that's misplaced. Maybe you're doubting yourself, what you should be proud of. There's parts of yourself you're like, I don't know if I should be proud of that. But if it inspires you, why not? Right? Hmm. So you also have here, it's tied to, okay, so your North Node is tied to Hybris. I know it sounds, because it's pride. It's not just pride, it is also, what do you call this? Having your own personal opinions about things. Sometimes it's okay to stand your ground without, causing chaos or hurting others. It's just, you're just saying, okay, this is what it is for me, right? Um, this includes like invasion of privacy or space. Excuse me. Um, learning from, things that because maybe there's a fear in you that you don't want to play God, right? But I'm like, Well, we are divine. I mean, so you know what I'm saying? We're not ever disconnected from the sunlight. We are the sun, the rays of the light of the sun, but we're never far from it. You cannot separate the two. So you're never ever disconnected from that. And I'm just telling you that because that's what we've heard, but it has to be something you embody literally to the core, right? There's a link between the Taurus and the Scorpio energies, which means to me you there are things that you need to detox a lot in your life and really sort of I don't know if you've had to change your diet or shift it a bit, okay? Because there's a past tendency to bring in the things that you a lot of it is tied to pleasure, right? Because you have that Taurus moon things. I want pleasure, especially with your ascendant in Cancer. It's just like, oh, I want to feel, but feeling doesn't have to be too in one direction. It could be both earthly and it could also be divine. It's together. In fact, both are divine, right? So you work with the two. It's like, what is pleasure? Is it only through the body? Or is it only spiritual? Some people literally say, I don't find pleasure in the body. I want to escape that. I'm like, no, you can't deny that. So you have to have both, right? So this is the world we live, this is the universe we're in. So um yeah. So there's several things on a more tangible perspective when it comes to things that you're being called to. And there might be doubts about this one. Um some sort of like I feel like you're, in a way, you might be potentially be able to change certain governments. And this is kind of big, right? Because your soul wants you to go through catharsis. Um, Autocratic and autocracy. So autocratic governments. We're talking anything from systems like plutarchy governments, bankocracy, corporatocracy, kakistocracy, kleptocracy, the list goes on in terms of like there's a lot of control, and you want to, in a way, I guess. I don't necessarily mean that I don't want to say that you have to teach them, but I feel like it's tied to yes yourself, but also probably children. How you become a symbol for children in terms of what control is, right? You find that you've had a lot of um, issues. I wouldn't say I don't want to call them issues, but challenges when it comes to children. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, so I would say there's some children children, especially children that have been brought up in under unconscious environments where they are always one way or the other. Maybe the child may be megalomaniac, or I mean, they have maybe maniacal tendencies. They have like the dark triad, so to speak. Brats, spoiled individuals, superiority or inferiority complex, temper tantrums, those kind of stuff, right? Or things that might seem fun, financially speaking, because Taurus likes money, pyramid schemes, antisocial behavior, internet trolling, violent delinquency, cybercrime, politically correct authoritarianism, anti immigrant prejudice, social dominance orientation, extreme political views, those kind of stuff, racism, bullying, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, those kind of stuff. So your soul wants you to kind of show that in a different way where because of your wounding of the past it becomes a gift, wounding to wonder, wounding to you know because you've had a lot of you have had a lot of challenges when it comes to relating with humanity, so you could be used as a gift to actually move you forward and say, okay, I know what to do with this because I've experienced it myself, right? So make that sort of your part of your fun, part of your joy, and what gives you like what gives you purpose, right? There's another asteroid here tied to your north node. It's the asteroid Proserpina. Proserpina is the equivalent of Persephone, but she's the Roman equivalent in mythology. So usually that means that she's not as crazy as the Greek version. So she is about pragmatism, adaptation, perseverance, hard work. Um, so the loss of innocence, even being manipulated, enticement, seduction, charm, um, where there can be a way to grow and love someone, not because they have to be a certain image that you perceive them to be, but rather just themselves. When we allow themselves, do you know the Buddhist monk Thich Tak, something like that? You know him? Anyways, but okay, it's okay. He talked about the whole. Well, I this already makes sense to us right now, but the way to love someone is to be present with them. So that's it comes down always to being present, always. So when it comes to children or even yourself, when it comes to things you enjoy, because this is the fifth house, it could be also hobbies, sports, forms of entertainment, things that make you light up, right? The love that you give to others is exactly through that, right? So because you've experienced a lot of these woundings from humanity, you can just say, well, I know what you're talking about, right? And in fact, because it's in Scorpio placement, usually one of the times is one of the ways to best way to do it is not even to say anything. Usually it just means, okay, I'm here. Because you more than you know, I think you already know this though. You are actually healing people just by being present. And you don't realize it. You're like, oh, she's a good listener. Right. So there's where your core beliefs of not so much reacting but responding that helps people because it's like, oh, so it's almost like you're timely, you're biding your time in terms of when to say something, right? Right, the right time because you're very there's that you can observe definitely, right? Be that bull. Your Mercury is also in Taurus. It's like be that bull. Um, there's other stuff you can get from your past too. So one of them is the gift of your own personal transformational abilities, which is tied actually to shape shifting. It could literally be shape shifting, as in it could also be tied to a galactic past life where you were a shapeshifter. Most of those galactic beings, I don't know if you were into that, um, are tied to the from the constellation Hydra. They used to be in India. They used to live. There's a galactic species used to live in India. So you see how there's certain in mythology, in Hindu mythology, they have like creatures with they're half snake. Yeah, that's those are shapeshifters. So there's something linked to that. Okay, I'm getting confirmation, goosebumps. Okay, uh, um, working with medicine as well. Something that you are most likely familiar with from the past. Um, being some kind of a surrogate mother. Surrogacy doesn't necessarily mean like surrogate in this case. It could also mean like sort of like being a mother to other people, right? You don't have to mother them. You could just be a mother. Does that make sense? If you get what I'm saying. Um, you're most likely from an older. You're probably most likely really, really, really like your soul is super old because I'm seeing here single-celled organism, primordial cells. Yes. So you are from way back. Okay, we're talking like millions of years. That's what I feel. I can see why you're the way your aura, your not aura, your I can see it's very calm. It's very it's almost like stoic. Are you people do people say you're stoic? Okay. There you go. So that's that. You have sorry? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Um what else is we say here? Yeah, so you were pretty much like the primordial cells. Um Health-wise, there's some sort of like ingrown anomalies or conditions or abnormalities. Um, uh, this kind of sounds gross, but oozing or pus or slime, sweating, there's something about that. I don't know what it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that kind of gross stuff, but also kind of like it's almost like your body's kind of, let's see here. There's something about that. Maybe it's tied to the ears, nose, and throat. There's something about that. I don't know what it is. And also, yes, tied to Jupiter. Here's the digestion. Oh, interesting. Something about liquids. There's something about the liquids that you can. I don't know what it is. I'm getting this feeling of like your body, the physiology that you entered into this life. Excuse me. I really had a good dessert today. I made it myself. I always cook my own food, and it's I like gingerbread, but I was just like, no, I'm gonna make it myself. Yes, I love gingerbread. Okay, anyways, okay, I'm digressing. So there's that. There's something about being kind of that energy, um, and one of the things we sometimes don't often realize with the energy of this polarity between Scorpio and Taurus is that it's tied to eating. So it's the digestion system, literally. So besides the fact that you have to detox a lot of times in this life, um, it means that there's a gift in the gross discussing things like you puss and all that stuff. But there's a way around because it's really the same thing, right? If you think about food, where does it go? It goes to your mouth. And then where does it come out? It comes out to your ass. Okay. So it's the same thing, but transformed. But you see the symbolism behind that, where it's just like if we talk about vegetables we eat, the fruits we eat, all the food that we eat, where does it come from? Most likely farms. It's not synthetic. Otherwise, we'd be robots, right? Even if it was synthetic, it still came from something that was natural. So there, but how do would that's the cycle, right? There's growth. Taurus loves growth. Taurus loves plants, nature, growth, right? But there's the opposite underneath that, which is the mycelial network, the gross mushrooms, virus, bacteria, fungi. It's like, ew, gross. Yeah, but that's what feeds it. So there's that whole, I think for you, you carry that uh, potential to be able to work through that magic, if that makes sense. Right? So, anyways, I went into so much detail with that. I'm sorry if I was wordy there, but it happened. Okay. As long as it's okay. Okay. There's also Freya in your past life. By the way, when I mention some of the deities here, that includes Urania and Metis and Freya, you might have potential access to the aspect of those goddesses or gods, and then use them towards guidance as well. If you get any messages, whatever. What do you practice? What modality do you use? I could look it up, but I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna look it up. I'm just gonna ask. Yeah, yeah. What modality? Like spiritual modality. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're okay. That totally makes sense because you are grounded through that as well. When you connect through what when you connect to the earth directly, you'll have access to that. Right? That's very much a Taurus thing. Some people have it more almost like automatically, but they're so up here. For you, you go through the body. You have to go through the body. Not that you have to, but it starts there, right? So your magnetic field, it's yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Do you practice any divination? Okay. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's so good. Yes. Because uh, we'll talk about something later that might come up again. It's called the Wim Hof method because it's helped me with my psychic abilities. It literally brought it out. But we could talk about that after. If I forget, remind me. But you don't have to. I'm not saying. Just saying it's not that important right now. Um, but yeah, divination is definitely one of your gifts. You can do it, right? Especially through the stars. But it's connected to Gaia. It's down right here. Um, so Freya is also from something in a past life or a parallel life. Um, there was a tendency, maybe there was in certain lifetimes to you felt separated from source energy, or rather your true higher self, or where you had to kind of constantly, almost like re, well, kind of like a rebirth, right? Um, there was a lot of changes there. There's a lot of things tied to softening and hardening of the heart, usually. So mood, whether you're ready or not. Again, we kind of already talked about this before. Um, Beauty is one of those things as well. Okay. Um, but because of the square in Chiron here, it's showing me that there was probably, again, that's another thing that was suppressed in you, right? You might have also been accused, or you know how there's still a lot of like misogynism today. Not a lot, but it is a lot. But it's, I'd like to say that it will change, but at the same time there is a lot still. So that's one of the things you've had to learn. I think some people call it like the witch wound, sorry, right? Being yourself, being your finding your inner power. So there might have been an accusation of you being like I don't want to say the word, but like I don't know, whatever. Yeah, that kind of stuff, right? Um, a lot of issues with anger. Again, people were just, they didn't understand you. They didn't understand that maybe they got scared of your ability to shapeshift. That you're like, oh, she's kind of a witch and she's kind of or he could have been male. I don't see male energy right now. It could be one of the asteroids. Hold on. Most of it is feminine energy, but there might have been times where you were also male. That would make sense. Okay, let's keep going. Um, so here, see, it says here multitudes. So that means that you have not only multiple gifts, but you were kind of connected. But again, there was suppression, oppression, ostracism, you name it, abuse, trauma. Um, you had to make sacrifices, for the sake of other people. It could have been into slavery. But remember, when we were going through our soul journey, what happens is that, um, as Dolores Cannon, I don't know if you've heard of Dolores Cannon. Yeah. So she talks about how we're supposed to experience every single type of individual, like every race, every gender, every size, every whatever, right? So this explains the whole. If you were, if you had chosen to be a slave in the past life, that means you probably one who was a tyrant also in another life, because you're experiencing both the polarity, right? You're learning. Your soul wants to learn what is that about, right? Um, you could also have been a woman of rank, or the opposite, like a mistress or concubine here, lady of the house, noble, priestess, definitely working with spells, invocations. So there's that witch wound that's probably come in. Definitely royalty, so queen, matron, people go to you. That's kind of carried on to this life. You're your go-to person. Um, Definitely like lavish homes. You live very like, oh, you were very popular. or the opposite, right? Or when I say or, and I would say and or, because again, it depends on which lifetime, right? Maybe you were in love affair, you were wedded off, arranged marriage. The shape shifting thing, because I mentioned Hydra in India, maybe you were in India. I'd have to look into another chart if you were in India in a past life, at least one past life. I'm not looking at this right now. But there's might be, at least in South Asia or Central Asia, somewhere there, because it feels like if it's tied to the shape shifting thing with the Hydra species, the galactic species, from the constellation Hydra, there's something about that. There's something about, arranged marriage, that kind of stuff. So I don't know, right? Yeah, I know it's crazy. Right? Lots of horrible things. So Freya, the goddess Freya, she went through so many things, being accused of things. Um, sleep. She said she was sleeping around, even sleeping around with her brothers or sibling. So, but again, that's part of every human lesson, right? One cannot say, "Oh, I am not that person." Actually, you are, because in another life or another, you have to learn that. Right? But there's always a gift behind that, right? So, you could also have been asexual in one life. I don't know if you feel like that now. I don't know. Um, Playing around, of course. Definitely had children in some of the other lives. You were probably a vegetarian as well. Um, Raw or ripe fruits. Something about harvesting. Um, you had to make choices. You worked with light and fire. Probably a smith. You were probably a smithy. Or worked with the earth. Something to do with earthquakes, shaking. Something to do with that one. Um, there's something about congestion as well, because it is ears, nose, throat. I don't know if you carried that from your family as well, or past lives. Mm. You probably were, well, we talked about ostracized here as shutouts. So maybe you were, people probably stole from you, or you stole from others. Either way, it was for survival. Something to do with breach of privacy, or something about locks, right? Um, you could also have been non-Christian or Christian, or because either way, that's kind of a, so something to do with being a priest, right? So baptism is tied to that. Um, Cleaning of the oceans, that's one thing as well. You're definitely can be a definite game changer. Okay, someone who awakens people. Mediumship. This is another thing you have. You do have that. Okay. Uh, Ghosts and spirits. So, have you ever been interested in ghosts, like ghost hunting? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. See, this is what I'm saying. Female deities. So, if you work with female deities as well, if you ever worked with guides, ask. Maybe ask. Get guidance too from other people who have done that, and then trust your instincts and your intuition. Because there was this one reading I was doing for someone, um, and I just said, I'm curious about who your guides might be, who are deities. That was a shocking experience for me. I did it the second time after, but when I did it the first time, one of their guides came through, and he was so intimidating. He was like Aztec, Inca, and something, and he wanted to blend with me. He literally, I couldn't breathe. I was just like, I had to tell them, it's like, back off. I literally had to be aggressive and say, back off, because I was just like, I could not breathe. You're just like, what is this? Yeah, I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. I'm just saying. Sorry, say it again. Yeah, that's uh, well, that was a time when I was kind of a little bit more open. Now I'm kind of having more boundaries. So yeah. So anyway, so female deities. So again, see what you get out of that one. Um, you do you ever fast? No, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Um, you might have done some bartending. Have you done bartending? Yeah, yeah. Um, something to do with also like blood. I don't know if you had to work with blood or weight loss. Something to do with sleeping, maybe sleepwalking. Um, or I feel like this is more of a Taurus thing. Jewelry or gemstones. Do you work? Okay. hmm the stones, the metals, gold and silver. Um, okay. You're probably like a charioteer. I didn't know what it was. Traveled a lot. Oh, you had aliases, multiple names. Okay. Or multiple personalities. I don't judge that at all. I think it's interesting. Um, my boyfriend has. He says he has multiple personalities. He jokes about it, but I'm I don't judge. I'm just like I love you for you. I don't. It's okay. Whatever. Yeah, that's right. Um, you could also have been a warrior in a battlefield or a Valkyrie somehow. I don't know if those are actually humanly. I don't know. It's in the mythology, right? Valkyries, but that's a possibility. Oh, it's Freya. So I'm reading what I'm reading here. Um, there's also the goddess Iduna. She's rarely known. She's about long-lasting health, right? Um, she's also about being misunderstood. So um, she's tied to immortality or mortality, rejuvenation, revitalization. Again, being misunderstood, accused. Okay, those kind of things. I think that's a thing that's coming up. I think you were accused of several things in parallel lives. So yeah, but she is also about the hidden, undiscovered, but irrefutable truth. So it's almost like, and that's so like Taurus too. Like Taurus likes to go based on the facts. Here are my facts. Here's how I say it, and then you take it or leave it. That's how it is, right? That stubbornness, that indolence that people might call Taurus to be, but there's a gift behind that too, right? So I don't know. Um, last minute guidance and or knowing. So like aha moments. So if you have last minute guidance, your guides come in and or somehow you just get this sort of inspiration, just like bing, aha, oh, okay. Go with that. Right. Uh yeah. Um imperfection versus perfection, proximity, close calls. It's kind of tied to what I said earlier. Have you ever been interested in doing healing work through healing generally or medical things? The medical thing is coming up again. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Cool. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Uh, what else do I see here? There's also something about government intelligence. There's something that came up earlier about government. Remember? Yeah. So I don't know what it is. There's something about that where it's almost like you don't need to work directly with governments, but I feel like it is something to do with politics. Like you're shifting politics and you're making it less fake and making it real. Because yeah, yeah, I know, but it could be the one of the possibilities. And the thing about astrology, it you've heard of the theory of multiverses, right? Yeah, so it pretty much ties in exactly with the parallel lives and all that stuff. So you could choose to go into that direction of trying to shift governments, but you could also not. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about the end goal itself, but the steps you take that will get there eventually. Because every choice we make in every given second, that's a different person. You, that's a different you. That's a different you. If I choose to read this, if I don't choose to read that, that will change the reading. So it goes in a different direction all the time. Infinite possibilities. Astrology is a language of probability. Same thing. So, um, So anything to do with intelligence or abductions or kidnapping, rescue missions, mitigations, again, that's something else. Maybe in a different lifetime. I don't know. Uh, let's see here. You wouldn't be drawn to any sort of predatory animals, would you? No? Okay. That's just curious. No, just curious. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. That's fine. There's something on the side here. Are you do you like living in forests and dales and valleys? Do you like that or no? Ah, okay. Okay, okay. It's tied. I don't know what it is. It's tied to Arduino, so I don't know. When I do these research on the asteroids, they're pre-downloaded and just like boom, and I write down where they tell me to go, and I'm just like, okay, sure. So I never know. I sometimes forget. Did I write this? So, um, you could also have been an elf. That's an interesting one. Okay. Okay. Definitely like a guardian for sure, some kind of guardian. Okay. Again, medicine is coming up again. So there's something about medicine, salves, balms, ointments. Um, but I feel like if it's the healing thing, it's working with substance abuse because they're usually tied, right? Usually alcoholism, abuse, and trauma, they can be tied together depending on it's a case per case thing, but so that can be something too. Or children of those families who have gone through that kind of stuff, right? Being on yeah, yeah, being on the edge of stuff. So, um, I don't know if you've ever feared. I feel like you don't. I'm not sure. I'm going to ask it anyways. Gerontophobia, the fear of old age, or thanatophobia, fear of death. Gerontophobia. Yeah. Okay. 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 That makes sense. And even old age, right? Gerontophobia. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't. Don't worry. I'm not judging. No, I'm just reading what I'm reading here. So sorry, but okay, that's okay. Let's go to Varuna here. Hmm. Well, what is that? Who said this? Who was that quote from? Somebody said, "We all die, but not all of us really live." Something like that. Yeah. So yeah, and living doesn't always mean that you just do everything very earthly. It's a balance, right? But you know, yeah. I was just having a talk with my dad today. I said, if we were going to die tomorrow, what would be the most important thing? We know what it is, right? So, if I were to die tomorrow, I'd be like, I'm going to use all of my money, go fly a plane, go see my boyfriend, and that's what I would. That's what I would. That's what I would tell him. I'll just be like, I'll tell him like, I'm coming tomorrow because I'm dying tomorrow, but I want to see you. So it's like, so to me that's important. So yeah. Right, there you go. So yeah. Um. Anyways, sorry. I don't want to be all preachy. Never. Never. Sorry. Okay. The other thing I find curious here is that you have Varuna in very close to conjunct your Venus, and your Sun and Moon. You're such a Taurus. It's very, very earthy and it's all in the 10th house too. So you have Capricorn tendencies as well, which is tied to success, achievement, that kind of stuff. We do change over time. So right now, you most likely would have shifted into a Cancer energy where home is more important to you, right? Um, but it's still there. The Taurus energy is still there. It's comfort, it's pleasure, it's ease, simplicity, having boundaries. This time it's probably stronger. Your boundaries are stronger now, right? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Um, so with this connection to basically omniscience, if that makes sense, unity, oneness, um, following the natural order of things, where it's you can accomplish something, but not where you're pushing anything. You're just going with the flow in your own way, in the best way you know how. Again, primeval, primordial energies coming back here. So it's like you definitely have that connection to way out there. Probably, I don't know what it is. Have you ever talked to someone who does channeling, actual channeling? We all channel, but I mean an actual channeler. Okay. Okay. Or that could be something because you know, you don't need to do all that spiritual stuff per se in terms to be connected, but it is through the earth, it's through the ground, it's through Mother Gaia. And the word vegetation came earlier, right? So there's something about planting. Have you heard of permaculture? Okay. We can talk about that another time too. But permaculture is this a rebirth sort of movement, so to speak. It's not really a movement. There is a movement about it, but it's bringing back so-called growing methods, not farming, so that it doesn't. So it's not. We're not reusing the land and abusing it. Because when you do traditional farming, it's just like seed, pesticide, whatever, right? Permaculture relies on its own waste. Nothing is thrown out in permaculture. It's recycled. It's self-sufficient. It's self-resilient. It's that kind of thing. Um, so you enrich the soil from the very beginning. You make sure the soil has proper layers to it, and it's a diverse ecosystem that you make wherever it is that you're making. Could be your backyard, could be inside the home, it could be a big yard, it could be a whole field, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It works with any ecosystem as well. Tundra, monsoon, or whatever, um, Arctic weather, it can work with anything because it's natural permaculture. That's why it's called perma, like permanent, right? So yeah, yeah. So I can send you you know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna send you, I think I'm still logged into that one. Yes. Okay. I'll send you a link to this group on School. I'm gonna send it right now. And I would, if it resonates with you, if it inspires you, whatever it is, um, it's free. It used to not be free. Um, and they just opened it up recently, the past, was it 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. And it's just everything's free. It's free courses. Literally, that's worth thousands of dollars. So yeah, I'll send it to you right now. It's like an invite sort of thing. Let me put it here. Okay, it's sent. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Good. So if that interests you, that's awesome. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. No. Um, what else is here? What else do we have Verona here? There's also something about it's Dharma. So Verona is definitely about Dharma. So you know how to make choices based on not karmic decisions, but dharmic, meaning it is more about choice. People call this the age of Aquarius, yada yada, right? I call it the age of choice. right? Do we want to always be on one side or the other, or do we integrate? That's one of the biggest lessons that we as humanity have to learn. For you, it's also quite strong. So it's really integrating the light and the dark. Bashar puts it where if we were to use numbers, that's what he kind of puts it. He says it in a different way, but the way if we were to use numbers, the universe is not a duality, it is a triplicity. It's 51% positive, 49% negative. But there's also the neutral part. This is where it's like what do you call that? Not the fork in the road, the crossroads. When we're at a crossroads, right? Do we make a decision? But what it really means is how do we integrate the negative? I don't like the word negative. I like the word constrictive because that's what negative energy is. It's constrictive. It pulls us down so that we can have an opportunity to work through that. And then we release and then we make a choice. That's dharma through that neutral part of ourselves. And we go bloom into the expansive. That's the positive, expansive. So, yeah. I don't know if you notice this, but there are many people who go through like a healing trap. They feel like, I must heal, I must heal, I must heal. But, well, they're in resistance of the negativity. They're not actually working on it. They're just resisting it by saying, so they keep looking for healing things, healing methods, and all that stuff. No, you don't have to. It's you who chooses what to do. It's like watching a movie. People say like, the ratings for this. It's like, okay, the ratings might help a little bit, but I want to see it for myself. Do I like the movie? Does it resonate for me? If it doesn't, doesn't. If it does, it does. Simple as that. So yeah, so it's the same thing. Yeah, there you go. What else was there? Okay, so Dharma, that's the one thing. You're definitely like of something royal blood, or at least something where it's very high up there, where there's duty, um, but it's tied to fate and destiny or something like that. It's tied to inescapable truths we talked about earlier, in irrefutable truths, where things are more natural, accomplishing things that are more natural. A lot of blessings, universal balance, it's light and dark, cohesion. That's usually Varuna. Varuna is the Hindu god of oceans. Um, so it's tying the permanent with the impermanent. You know about the whole concept in Japanese, kaizen. It means that if something is broken, you don't look for to repair it the way it was. You accept that it is broken, and you fill in the gaps in between that. So what looks like a broken cup is actually filled in gold in between. Exactly. You don't repair it, you accept it, and you go bloop. That's a new you. So it's more expansive. And it's funny because Verwin is exactly tied to this one. So I don't know if you heard of Teal Swan. Have you heard of Teal Swan? She talks about how we live in a fractal universe. So that means in order for us to grow and expand and not be, stale, what do you call that, stagnant water, it has to move. In order for us to grow and expand through that movement, we have to accept the fact that you need to be fragmented in order for you to grow. How else do you make space for new things? Right. So, right. So, anyways, I'm doing that to myself when I'm doing that face. Sorry. um, I get it. I go everywhere. Let's see here. Other lots of beautiful gifts from the past. Very genuineness, forgiving, all that balance, right? Cohesion, like I said, acceptance, wisdom, conviction, logic, mercy, justice, penance, atonement, fears, and less. Basically, all of the above, right? You can think of is pretty much this. Um, but shape shifting is coming back here again. Okay, so lots of gifts, lots of gifts, lots of gifts. Okay, being able to morph, shapeshift. The Big Bang. I was right. See, I knew it. You were from the very beginning of this universe. You're there. Primordial goo. Okay, first life, first waters, origin. You are quite original, and you just have to tap into that belief by, let me put it this way. Sometimes the way out of a belief, an old belief, is to destroy it by putting it in the past and then renewing it so that you look at the things that actually contradict that old belief. And you accept that old belief by saying, this is like it's tied to what Teal Swan said in this one video. She talks about how um, if there's something that we really want, but then you look deep into, you actually face what your negative or limiting beliefs about why you can't have what you want, whatever that want is, and figure out what is that limiting belief, and then whose image of someone, what image of someone does it preserve? Like, for example, when it comes to abundance, I still have a little bit of that, where it's just like, well, I can't spend this much. Sorry, yeah, I can't go see my boyfriend because he lives way out there, right? And I was like, well, I don't have the money right now. Well, yes, right now you don't have the money right now. But when I went to the belief, I went like, I can't go there. I can't go see him, but I do want to do that. I can't, my limiting belief is that I can't do that because of my income right now. So, but I was just like, okay. So it preserves whose image? It's like, well, my parents. My parents were like penny pinchers. My mom is a penny pincher. I think she's still kind of like that. Um, so you know what I'm saying? But so, and then I asked the question, if I follow this, who would it disappoint or who would it kind of contradict? That would be kind of like them too, but also, you know, so I'll send you the video again. You know what? I'll write it. I think it's here. It's a video about abundance. Let's go here. Financial abundance. Okay, let me type that in here. Teal Swan. The number one thing blocking your financial abundance. This is the one. Okay. I'm going to share it with you again. I'm going to share again something in this one. That's one of my challenges. I jump the gun when I'm saying things. You're like, did I just see that? I was like, oh. So I just embrace it. I'm just, sorry? Oh, you did? Sorry. Yay, we're the same team. Yay. Okay. So what else was there? So I sent a link. Okay, so take a look at that one if you want to when you have time. No pressure. There must have been also droughts. He's tied to droughts, forest fires, and because this is Varuna, this again kind of proves your connection to India. I don't know. There's something about India. Okay, so we'll look at it another time. Hopefully, when yeah. How are we for time? Are you okay? Like 10 o'clock? Are you okay? 15 minutes? Okay, let's see what else we can do. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, that's nice. That's so you must have worked with underground locations as well, with lightning or thunder and water. Um, something about working with also like any body of water, but also like maybe like again, oh, the whole seafaring thing comes back here. So you must have been some kind of maritime person, sailor, or something about that. Do you like that stuff? Do you like the fishing, sailing, kind of stuff? Okay, so there you go. So what I'm saying is that there's these gifts you have from the past where you can actually bring them into this life where you embrace everything because you are from that everything and you're much, 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 much older. Okay, I'm not this is not an age thing, of course. Your soul is so far from like I don't know. You're probably much older than I was. I no no, I'm 11. Apparently I've been around for 1100 years. So I feel like I mean, we're talking 1100, maybe 1100 years or 1100 times I've incarnated. So you must have done that much more than I have, unless it's whatever. I don't know. The numerology says that, but I don't know. It's not a competition. I'm just saying. Yeah. So law enforcement, that must have been something too, or definitely a farm, like legislator, again, law enforcement, a physician. You were also a young man. See, that's where the man comes in. Okay, you were a young man in a past life. Okay. Um, oh, you there? One second. Something happened there. Oh, okay, so we're back. Okay. That must have been, yeah, because the I have this sort of like an internet booster sort of thing, and it turned off because I have a, what do you call that, the multi-plug adapter sort of thing. It shuts off, it's timed, because I don't want to use electricity. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, we're back. Anyways, so you had also multiple children here. Mm, multiple offsprings, very original, of course, like I said before. Something about circles. I don't know what that is. Something about circles. Like, have you ever thought of or been curious about opening your own circle to some group, like our group or something like that?
No.
Okay. Have you always lived in Western locations of places? It says here the West or something about West.
West of what?
Any places, West, like west of a continent, west of a city, west of a state or province?
No, well, actually, no.
No okay.
Matter what. No.
Okay. That's okay. That's fine. So the vegetable thing is coming back up because it says here coastal fruits and vegetables like rice, coconuts, barley. There's a bunch of other things that I kind of excluded out from the other readings, but I didn't think they were pertinent. We can definitely go through much of that more later when it's tied to, because I'm trying to I keep my thoughts focused on your path because that was your question, right? So, garments, clothing. Okay, so you must have liked clothing before, much more, or at least maybe no. Something about working with also shells or sheaths, anything that protects, blankets, obelisks, towers, shafts, supporting beams, any kind of those kind of stuff. Any kind of restraint as well, binding or glue, adhesives, moisturizers, cords, nooses, ropes. Oh, you must have been also a spy. Something.
Yeah.
Okay. Astral projection. That's another one. Okay, it's one of your gifts as well on a physical sort of level. Let's see here. Oh, you were also a very handsome boy. Handsome young man. Okay. Very good yeah, you were also had a very good physique and a body and a build. Metaphysics. You were a metaphysicist at some point. Definitely like mysteries. That's why you like the ghost stuff. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Meditation comes easily to you, I would say. If it doesn't, then that's good to challenge that. Remember that meditation isn't just meditation. It actually can be just a meditative state any given time. You don't have to be a meditation. Yeah, so you got that. Got it. See, I know you know that. Um, Again, working with aquatic creatures. Okay, the water. That's a huge one. Sustenance and nutrition. So I feel like this is tied to the healing, medicinal work, remedies, herbs. Um, I don't know if you've been drawn to archery. That could be something in the past as
No.
well. Okay, that's fine. Um, the circle thing came back, something to do with assemblies, contract agreements, um, subsidies, social standards. That's tied to the 10th house placement of where you maybe something to do with your boss or the company you worked for, moral conducts, ethics, outreach programs, maybe some sort of saving or rescuing stuff. Rescue missions came earlier. Reductions or intercessions, interventions, something to do with side hustles, side jobs, gambling, working with benefactors, donations, severance pays, reprimands, debt, law, legal matters, unimposed or unenforced laws and regulations, bylaws, protection and protective tools. So, rules, jurisdictions, again, natural law. Crystals, this is the one, so gemstones, working with crystals or crystallizations, specifically pearls, lapis lazuli, gold, and earlier silver. What does this work here? Again, charioteer, something again with water, umbrellas, ships, that's coming back in, cars, wagons. Do you feel you're not good at driving?
No, I'm good driving.
There you go. So that's a past life thing. Okay, there you go. Okay, good. Okay. Working with frequencies as well. Any forms of unit of measurement to frequencies. So that could be energetic frequencies to amplitudes. Okay. The science thing is coming back here again. Telescopes, microscopes. Mhm. I don't know if you like costumes, cosplays, that kind of stuff. Halloween. Right. So,
Oh yeah.
okay. Okay, cool. So those are a lot of the gifts from past lives. Oh, there's also Themis. I'm almost done. Themis. How much do we have? 6 minutes. Ah, okay. Themis is also about, let's see what we can get here. Again, the premonitions things coming through again. Being sort of a sanctuary for someone, foster care, that kind of stuff, right? Having visions can be a natural thing for you, right? Because it is a natural thing. Prophecies, predictions, premonitions, that's coming up again. Uh, Maybe you're drawn to Greece, like Delphi, or religious sites, or sites where there was a lot of like oracles, oracular places, or shrines.
Hmm.
Like ley lines. I'm hearing ley lines. That's a good one.
What's
Um,
ley lines?
they're convergence of specific energies on the planet. And what happens is that when they
Oh,
cross,
okay.
yeah, very strong. Like Sedona.
Yeah.
That's the most popular one in North America, but there are tons of them in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Something about debt. I don't think you'd be interested in working as a debt collector or a tax or what do you call those? Tax season. What do you call them? Um, you know, I'm talking about people
Yeah.
who, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or
IRS people.
yeah, there you go. There. um, let's see here. You must have been also a diplomat in a past life as well, believing in peace, social order. Okay. Something about hovercrafts and floating, buoyant objects, buoyancy, something with the air as well. So there's a water part. Yeah. Um, you were a founder of a place or company, establishment. So that explains the circle thing earlier. Being a leader as well. That was probably something common in past life. Um, so a judge, that could be a judge. See, ley lines, again, goodness sakes. Okay. See, that's why I saw ley lines. Came to me, I was like, okay, ley lines. You probably married second twice already in past lives. Maybe in this life you're no longer one, like having a
Yeah.
second. Oh, okay, okay. Uh, surrogacy. That one's sort of. I think that one came through again. I'm not sure. A nurse. So again, that whole nursing aspect, right? You're helping people. Again, medicine is coming
Yeah.
here. Something to do with vitamin and nutrition supplements. Um, body balance, eyesight. That's the eyesight. Things to do with the eyes. Another one here is Heimdall, having boundaries. Keen eye for things. Rainbows, connections, transitions, recovery of lost goods or items. To do with gold again. That's coming back again. Multiple lovers. That's coming back up again. um,
Okay.
having an high EQ and IQ. EQ and IQ. On the spiritual level, the runes. I don't know if you've been drawn to working with runes. The stoicism is right here. I said that earlier. Okay. See, I love surprising myself. That makes for a really good reading. Again, working with water and air. So I feel like it's water and air combined here. There's something about that. Hurricanes, storms, tsunamis. So there's something about those, but I feel like it's tied to the rescue missions. Maybe with the children. Remember, it's tied to that kind of stuff. Or maybe it's like finding homes for something for children or something like that. It's tied to that. I don't know what it is. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. Also tied to the whole drunkenness, disinhibitedness, meaning like stating the truth in terms of instead of just saying I'm going to give you food or temporary relief. We're talking like the long-term ones. Something that is definitely more like a forever thing. So you're changing the system. Again, you don't need to necessarily work with politicians. I didn't say that. I'm saying that there's something about the connection there. Okay. And another last but not least, we have harmonia here. So there's something about the balance things, homeostasis. Um, Maybe in a past life you had cancer for some reason. I don't know what it is. Or it could just be tied to the sign cancer. I don't know what it is. But I feel like there's something about that. That's why you can be drawn. Yeah, I think your soul wants to heal at a deeper level. It's still physical, but it's a deeper, more cathartic level. Talismans. I don't know if you worked with talismans. So, you know, some objects that mean something to imbue it with energy and like kind of like I wear this triquetra. I wear this, and
Oh,
technically that's a talisman, right? So because
okay.
that's what it is. Like when I work gemstones, right? If you believe in like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, right. I don't think it's just that. There are energies behind them too, but yeah. Um, Something about okay, the whole anti-autocracy is coming back again. Equality and equity, egalitarianism and equality. Um, the status quo, civil liberties, bribery and corruption, negotiation, peace talks or summits, consensus. So here to kind of release people from their brain fog, so as to kind of like get them. Part of mission your soul wants to do is to awaken people in terms of what's real on Earth, right?
Mhm.
Especially through the thing that you've learned through that. You can challenge yourself to be some kind of teacher where you don't necessarily teaching. When people think teaching, it's like I'm going to do
Right.
this. No, I mean leading by example, that kind of stuff, right?
Mhm.
It can be tied. So your south node is tied directly to there's a lot of planets tied to your Jupiter as well. It's trine here. So it's showing me that internal little things that you do that to expand. It's all about growth and expansion, but it's also tied to business. It's tied to uh, expansion and growth and higher education and personal beliefs, philosophy. That can work towards your working towards what you're here to change. Um, what else did I see here? The south. I think there was something about the north node here. Let's see. 19 degrees. Yeah, it is tied to knowledge of health. It's tied to the knowledge of health to help people with any sort of inflammation. It could be also symbolic inflammation, things that it's at a physical level, it's tied to earth. So I'm seeing here it's kind of in a way doing your own, working with what you have already. Like um are you still learning? As like when you went to university, you probably didn't agree with a lot of what they said, right? You're just like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that means that you're here to kind of change that also by learning it yourself, like on the way. A lot of it is tied to your own. I'm seeing here lots of beautiful ones here. You have Circe here and Bacchus. They're tied to the earth. Circe is tied to charms and spells and witchcraft, but mostly about that boundary thing. Bacchus is tied to well, he's tied to alcoholism, but excess. He's tied to that whole learning to appreciate the work that you put in and reaping the rewards of what work you put in.
Okay.
And you also have here Spartacus showing me that, and Eos, which means that you can always start anew. If something didn't work, you can always start anew. But that also means that even if there's a fear of old age or things that are of the past, there's something to integrate from that as well. Right? I hope that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, when I say makes
It
sense, I
does.
mean, yeah. Um, what will naturally flow for you here is you are standing your ground is a definite thing, but it's tied to Vesta here and Bennu. Um, Bennu and Vesta are tied to the formless flame. Bennu is like the phoenix. So, and Vesta is the goddess. She was a formless goddess. So there's something about her with not only balance, but also she's tied to Kundalini energy. But Kundalini is simply, to put it, it's life. When you tap into life energy itself, like live, literally like live from the heart. For you, it is tied to your soul, your it's actually tied to your feet as well. There's something about flowing with water, something about healing with water and earth. Pretty much all the elements, actually. If you work with all the elements, that's a good one. Um, there's something else about that. She's chi. She's life force. I don't know if you do any qigong or tai chi.
No, I just looked that up today.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So no, I mean just to see what it was.
Yeah. But it's also tied to shadow work. It's also tied to shadow work with any inherited stuff you gain from your family, any sort of trauma that I've seen here.
Hmm.
A lot you have the asteroid Hell here, it's like Hell, and Clitia as well. Clitia was there's something about your working with children and other young people who are rejected from families.
Hmm.
And that's a strong one. That one's coming through. Um, and really going crazy about how you shift yourself in terms of any subconscious beliefs you may have. So the subconscious beliefs, working with everything you can because you are from that, you're really way back, right? Linearly speaking. And working that, life energy, get in touch with that life and trusting your from the earth to the ground to up. It's all connected. You just have to find the little things that you do already that with it. Definitely working with divination might help you, but whatever you're doing, I think you're doing fine. So
Yeah, and be present, huh? Be in the present.
always, that is always the key because, yeah, because sometimes we think presence is usually also about just time, but it's really, when you do like these old methods like the qigong, the yoga, even the so-called meditation and stuff, it wasn't really it's not really about the method at all. It's using the method, like Eckhart Tolle says, it's about the stepping stones. Words are simply stepping stones. This is what we're doing right now. This is a stepping stone for you, just as it is
Right.
for me. But it's not what it is. What it is you. You are life. So, but that's still sometimes a little too vague, right? I understand that. So the way I see it is like one thing that caught my attention when on based on what Eckhart Tolle says is one step at a time, like one movement at a time. When you're walking, just sense yourself doing exactly that. Then go to the next thing. In your mind, there's something ahead that you're doing. Sure, that's fine, but you're not there yet. So don't attach yourself
Right.
there, right? Yeah, it is. So it's time, but it's also not time, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I know you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
So yeah,
I do.
yeah,
I do.
good. Does that help in terms of to answer your question? I hope it answered your question because I'm kind
Yeah. So interesting.
of
Crazy.
yeah. There's still a lot more. Like I could go deep into it for sure. But I mean, even when I go through my own chart, I keep going back and it's like, did I feel something? Did I miss something? What
Yeah.
was I? Yeah. And as you progress too, there's things that will change over time in your chart, which are evidence of what you're obviously most likely going through. Again, it depends on the choices you make. So, right. So we can take a look at that for sure. Like if you have any questions next time. But you said you have your granddaughter coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to shoot out of here.
sure. Um, there are
I
other
appreciate
freebies.
it.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. There is other stuff that you can go through next time as well. So I will consider this. And there's other freebies that I was offering depending on the disciplines. I'll send you the list, and it's just
Okay.
So yeah,
Please.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's about it. Any questions?
No. No. It's a lot. It's a lot. I just was scribbling, doing a lot of taking little notes. So.
Okay, cool. I will post this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see. I'm gonna wave to the camera here. We're just gonna end this stream. So,